Hi everyone, welcome. Solomon's Tales, continuing on again. We left it, let's move on. Solomon had been in that new bar that the guy Chris was running and met this girl named Elle. Seemed to be a hostess. The group who'd got this new bar were a Bangkok crowd, possibly Australians. I think Chris was Australian. And this girl Elle works in Bangkok as some sort of hostess, not as a bar girl. Quite posh, very pretty. It's in Solomon's mind. Anyway, Solomon's back to the room. Ning and the girls had moved out, gone back to their room, and then Ning's fella's turned up, so she's gone. Oh, just disappears, as she does. Frozen, the same. She's up in Bangkok, or somewhere around the country with her boyfriend that's come from abroad. So Solomon's pretty much on his own. No sight of Sue, the boss of where he's staying. He still owes his rent and bike money, got to pay that, but no, cashier's not fussed, so no problem. But he's pretty much on his own. He's got not many friends. Suddenly there's no girls about. Bit of a shock. But he wants to try and find this job as a manager. It's going to be the best chance for him, but no luck so far. Sometimes if you just hit it too much, banging on doors, you just don't get anywhere. So he's going to leave it for a few days. He's got a few pool contests, and he's got this girl Elle in his mind. And he's beginning to dip into his savings a bit, which is not good. So he needs to earn some money. And later that day is the contest in Soi 8 that he's always goes to. But there's also another bar up off the back of Second Road towards Soi Buakhao that's got sometimes 2 or 3 matches, depends how many people are in the bar. So he's hoping to do the Soi 8 one and shoot up to the other one and see if he can catch maybe the last match. So evening comes, been out the usual, had a walk around, had some food. Into Soi 8, enters the contest as usual, quite a few people there. Plays reasonably well, gets all the way through, gets to the last 2. Gets beaten by a complete novice with so much luck it's untrue. Nothing he can do about it. Complete flukes this guy, and he loses, but he gets second. 4,000 baht. Great, he's got some money. Right, out, jumps on, took his bike this one, jumps on his bike straight up to the other bar, and luckily he arrives, they're just finishing their first match. There's quite a few people in there. In fact, there's more in there than the other bar. This could be really good. 1,000 baht entry, usual rules. Doesn't recognise the people. It's all new faces. Has no idea. The table's pretty standard. He's played in this bar before, and he has won in this bar before. So, but it's strange not having Frozen in his corner or Ning. You know, he's got no backup there at all. Anyway, cut a long story short. Battles his way through. Comes out victorious. He wins. And he wins easily. He cruises through. Absolutely cruises through. He's getting quite tactical now in the way he plays the killer pool. He's learnt lots of little tricks and tips. And yeah, he wins. There's 11,000 baht prize for him. That's 15,000 baht in one night. He's like, that's it, I've got slush fund money to play around with, and it's about 10:30 in the evening. He's like, that's great, brilliant. And he thinks, right, and he's just got this girl Elle in his mind, and he thinks, well, it's a bit late, I've got the bike with me. He thinks, to hell with it. And he's cuts through the back lanes and comes out sort of Jomtien end of Second Road and comes back round, dives down behind Marine Disco and parks his bike there. I think it's 10 baht. Walks through the lane, I think it's Soy Diamond or Soy BJ. Soy BJ. Comes out onto Walking Street, flicks right, across the road, goes in the bar, Chris's bar. Now it still hasn't had the big launch, but you walk in, expect, you know, there's girls outside, 3 or 4 girls. It's empty again, absolutely empty. He walks in, it's like 10:30, 11 at night. Chris is at the bar, there's nobody playing snooker. L up at the back again with another girl talking. And he's like, what on earth? This bar, they got to advertise or do something. Anyway, walks across the bar, see Chris, hi Chris, and Chris is like, really glad to see him. It's a customer. And he orders a drink and he buys one for Chris. And he said, Chris, what's happening? You know, there's just, customers, what's going on? And we've got problems, he said. The group have got problems with the license and the local police and bits and pieces. He said stuff's not getting put in place. He says, I don't know the full story at the moment. We're still waiting. We haven't set the launch, but we've got problems, or they've got problems with one of the bars they've got in Bangkok. He said it's not great. So there's no money at the moment for advertising and local TV promotions and pushing it. He said we're just having to just tick over. Someone was like, wow. Anyway, they just chat about other things, and someone was like, any news anywhere that anyone's got a job? And he's like, no, don't really know anyone, especially around Walking Street. He said, I haven't heard anything, but I'll let you know. Anyway, the conversation goes across to this girl, L, and Solomon says to Chris, what's the score with this girl? You know, and Chris says, she works, one of my partners in Bangkok, she works in a bar as a hostess, meet and greet girl. She's quite upmarket, he says. She doesn't go with customers. She just pulls the people in the bars, and they're quite high-end bars in Bangkok, and she just chats to people. He says, I think she had possibly a fling with one of the bosses in the past. Maybe they were boyfriend, girlfriend, but she still works up there, and she's come down here to help. And someone was like, I really like her, she's really pretty. I'd love to try my luck. And Chris is like, smirks and sort of laughs, and like, you got no chance. And someone said, so you don't mind if I try my luck with Elle? And he said, no, as long as if we do get customers in, she's got to work. He said, so you buy her drinks and no problem, go for it. So I was like, He said, what time are you closing tonight? And Chris is like, well, probably 2 o'clock. Okay. Anyway, so he grabs his drink, he says, I'm going to go and chat to her. And he walks over, this other girl's with Elle, and he sits down, hi girls. And Elle sort of says something to this other girl, and she just gets up and walks off. Okay. Someone says, do you want a drink? And Elle's like, yep, that's a must. So she walks off, gets a drink, comes back, and they just get chatting. They have a good old chat. And Solomon's like, I'm not mucking around. I don't want to waste my time. He says, you never go with customers. And she goes, no. He says, no boyfriend? No. What's the score, And I'd love to take you out. And she's like, I'm single, I just work, save money, and not really looking for a partner. And so I was like, oh. He says, well, you working every night? And she's, yeah, at the moment with this bar, every night. And Solomon is like, okay, I'm going to have to work on this girl. He says, how about I take you out for lunch? You don't work till, at the moment, in the afternoons. And Elle's like, And Solomon says, what do you like? Do you like street food? Do you like, or do you like restaurants? Or she goes, oh, I prefer eating in a restaurant. She says, but, yeah, okay. You take me to a restaurant, we'll go to a restaurant. She says, I quite like seafood. Okay, that's expensive. She says, I've seen one just on the front here, along on the beach road. There's a couple. She said, yeah, you can take me for lunch. I don't mind you buying me lunch, she says. And he's like, yeah, okay. Alright. He said, yeah. She said, tomorrow, lunch. Give me a time. And she's sort of, She says, I'll ring you when I'm up and about and we'll arrange it then. So she's got his number. If she hasn't, he just gives it her. He says, oh, okay. She's like, probably sleep all, late. And he thinks, I might get a phone call, I might not then. He said, okay. Anyway, so they have a drink, carry on chatting a bit. He says, right, I gotta go, I got the bike with me, I gotta shoot off. She said, okay, I'll ring you tomorrow. Off he goes, says goodbye to Chris. Bar's still empty. Walking street's busy. It's just a small front door, it's just a couple of girls outside, they're not doing their job. They're not, no energy of these girls outside at all. Waste of time. So, out he goes. He said, I'm not even going to drink in Walking Street tonight. He says, and he's been there now quite a few months, and he starts to see familiar faces, people who are living there, and the girls, they recognise people from different bars. So all these pool bars he's going around, you see the foreigners in there with a Thai girlfriend, and those girls start, get recognised. So a few people sort of smile at him and say hi. Round the lane, gets on his bike, back to room. On his way up to his room, he thinks, I'll pop in, see if the boss is there. And he goes up the first stairs, in through the door, and the boss is there, Sue's there, but the Chinese Thai tall guy husband is also there. Again, he looks like he's drunk, and Solomon's like, oh, she's not going to want to talk to me. But he thinks, oh, hell with it, He walks in and, hi, and she starts talking to him. Hi, how are you? He says, I've got to sort my rent out with you and bike. She says, oh, okay, yeah. You want to pay now? And he's like, yeah. Pulls out money. Pays for a month. And the bike gives it to her. She says, thanks very much. She said, you okay? He said, yeah. She says, I'm just wandering around. I'm actually trying to find myself some work now. And at this point, this tall husband of hers, he's a little bit half cut, leans forward and introduces himself. And I can't remember the guy's name, but anyway, he's got glasses, he is tall, 6'2". He's quite slim, but a little bit drunk. He leans forward and starts introducing himself and talking. And Solomon's like, yeah, hi, how are you? I'm stay upstairs, and yeah. And the guy then, he just sort of stops talking to Solomon and gets leans over to cashier another drink. And Sue sort of lifting her eyebrows and looking at Solomon, and Solomon's like, this is awkward. And she never responded to him saying, I'm looking for work. She's just watching the husband. Anyway, Solomon's like, all the girls over by the goldfish bowl are right in the corner away. You think this guy could be trouble. And Solomon's like, I'm getting out of here. I've paid my rent, paid for the bike. She says, tell Arsu. Says goodbye to the guy as well. He just sort of grunts off to the room. So quite a good day. He's won 2 pool contests. He's sort of made a date with Elle. He's paid his rent. He sort of met the husband of Sue, the boss of this soapy massage where he's living. Not a bad day. Still no Ning, no Frozen. He's going back to his room, lonely. It's very quiet because there's like 3 floors above, all with rooms, and he's the only person in the whole place. There's no, maybe there's a customer in one room somewhere, but it's a bit of an empty place, empty feeling. Old carpet running down the corridor, very quiet, but beats that other room with all the noise from the Atlantic bar and stuff. Anyway, that's it. It's room. Day over. Elle is in his mind. Such a pretty girl. He's not met a girl like this before, because what is a hostess girl over there? Meet and greet. He's not come across this type of girl before. She's really dresses nice, really upmarket clothes. Just the manicured nails, her hair, not too much makeup. Really, really nice. Speaks good English. She's like a really good catch. And it's like he's going to have to date her, just like a normal relationship. Looks like he's going to have to wine and dine her which is strange when you're in Pattaya. Very strange to find a girl like this. Well, maybe not, but for Solimon it's strange. And you think, So he has a good old night, dreams about hell. Next morning comes. He gets up quite early. He's up at about 8. Out, walk onto the beach, walk along the beach. He's going to head along and cut up and find some breakfast somewhere. And gorgeous day. People are milling around. It's still quiet. Nothing seems to open till about 10 o'clock. But food, there's always food open, 24 hours a day. Wanders along the road, along the beach road. Up, breakfast, walks back round. And he's like, what should I do now? I'm just going to be sat around waiting for a phone call that might come or might not come. And he thinks, really could do with maybe going knocking on a few doors and see if there's any bar work. What areas? He's sort of not really done Jomtien. I've not explored Jomtien. So he thinks, maybe I'll jump on my bike and go over to Jomtien. It's only like 15 minutes. And the chances are that L's going to sleep in till 1, 2 o'clock, and it'll be a 3, 4 o'clock lunch. And he thinks, yeah, plenty of time. So he does. He walks back to the room. Doesn't even bother going up to the room. Just grabs his bike. Doesn't put a helmet on. Jumps on the bike. Down Beach Road. Go all the way along Beach Road to the Walking Street sign entrance. Flicks round to the left on the one way, and then off to the right towards Jomtien. Below me down, he's gone round to the right, heading towards Jomtien. Police checkpoint, and he's pulled. No helmet, ticket, and he's learning this now. It's like, and he hasn't put the helmet under the seat of the bike or on the bike. It's in the room. And he's like, oh dear. Pulls out 200 baht, pays the fine there and then. Got no helmet. He's like, no, I'm just gonna have to go for it. And he just rides off, pays the fine, rides off, no helmet. Lucky, no more checkpoints. That's not a good sign. Anyway, comes down to Jomtien. He doesn't really know Jomtien that well. He's been there a few times, but not much. 15 years ago, there wasn't that many bars on the way in down to the beach. There was a few, and along the front. Anyway, he goes down to the beach, wanders along the front a little bit. Sees there's a few restaurants and cafes, but he's not really noticing a lot of beer bars. There was some on the corner. He sees a sign, Winchester Club, and that rings a bell. He's thinking, what's that? Winchester Club, I've heard about that. He thinks, well, I'm going to go and have a look at this. And he turns left for the sign, up this road, I don't know, maybe a quarter of a mile. And on the left, sign Winchester Club. It's like a big building. Pulls the bike, and there's a few bikes parked there, and he's thinking, well, what is it? He hasn't got a clue, but somebody's mentioned this to him before. He thinks it's got to be a bar. Parks his bike, and he thinks, right. In he walks, front door in, and there's a few bar areas in there, a lot of seating areas. Goes in, it seems quite as a couple of guys with girls sat in, like alcoves and things. Pokes his head round the corner, and there's a big bar, and he thinks, there's a couple of girls sat by the bar. Over he goes to the bar, not too far from these two girls. Barmaid. He's like, just give me a soft drink, just give me a Coke. He said, I'm riding the bike, I'm not really in the mood for drinking too much. And these two girls strayed over. One girl, quite tall, usual black eyes, long black hair, really, really attractive girl, great English. This girl's called Lee. Other girl, can't remember, smaller girl, not as good English. And he's chatting to them, he's drinking, and he's like, what is this place? Turns out it's a sort of, there's rooms upstairs, aerobics. Phone call, always the way. So there's two girls in this Winchester. It's yeah, aerobics rooms upstairs for a couple of hours. So, short time bar. It's quite a big place. And there's a sign up saying Sunday lunches, free barbecue, free food, Sundays. That's good. Very good. Anyway, these two girls, the little girl, suddenly like, oh, another customer's in, off she goes, boom, leaves this Lee with Solomon. And he's chatting away to her. Excuse me, she's a lovely girl, really nice. And she's not pushing for a drink, she's just nice chat. And it must be coming up for lunchtime. He's not heard anything from L. But anyway, Solomon's not in the market for a hedonistic holiday, so he's very tempted. But no, he doesn't buy her a drink. He drinks his Coke and he's like, well, now I've seen what the place is like. Yeah, and nice to meet you, Lee. Pretty girl. She says, come back. He says, Sunday, free food. She said, yeah, come, it's busy, really good. He said, oh, okay, maybe I will. He pays his drink, says his goodbyes, out. He thinks, right, I'm going to have a look round Jomtien. And just as he gets out to the bike, phone rings. It's L. I'm up and about, ready for lunch. You know, if we go meet restaurant, seafood, beach road. Describes where, and he's like, oh, okay, yep, no problem. And he's in Jomtien. Right, I've got to ride all the way back now. So, but he saw what the Winchester Club was like. And he heads back, works his way all the way around, back round to Beach Road, round the one-way system, parks up at the restaurant, and no sign of her, but she'll be along in a minute. And we'll leave it there. L, now there's a Lee. It's just, it's all money though, isn't it? He's got a bit of money from the winning those two contests, so that'll keep him for a few days. There's another pool contest coming up in 2 days' time for him. And he's like, L, time to wine and dine her. Oh, what's he like? He's going to get himself into trouble, I'm sure. Or he's gonna fall in love. Catch you on the next one. Ta-da.